Hi guys, so we are back. So last episode we did military science. Where is it? Right here. So we got this up and running. We got our military science going, and we got our oil going. So now between episodes, I did a couple of things housekeeping wise. We originally put the oil here, the oil processing here. I don't like that. I don't like where it was. I moved it over to here. Just a minor move. Now, in order to do it, I had to move this belt over. So we moved the belt over that supplies, ammo to the turrets, and I moved this over. The reason being, this way I have more room to expand out if I want to do it. The other way, I was kind of, I was bumping up against that and what have you. The other thing I did is I ran a second line from our main iron source right here because we were starting to get throughput issues here, and we weren't getting enough iron. Now, I will say though, it's starting to kind of worry me. We've viewed out into these areas, and I'm seeing coal. I'm getting a lot of coal. I'm getting a fair bit of copper, some uranium even. But in all honesty, I'm not seeing a lot of iron. I mean, I'm seeing oil, but there's an iron patch here, which is only 8 million. I mean, this one is 8 million. This one is 8 million. It's outside our reach right now, but you know it's obtainable. And we got 3 million here, and we got a little patch that's like 1 million here. I'm not seeing a lot of iron on this map, which, again, like I say, it kind of concerns me. Now, one thing I did realize, and by the way, this is something you can do now, is you can do a search on the map. So if I type in oil, it's going to show me where my crude oil patches are. And we went and we picked this one up. This is the one we're doing right now. I guess they're far enough apart that it considers it two different sources. But we've also apparently got a couple of crude oil patches down here, and I may go down and pick those up to bring them up because we're not getting a lot of oil up here right now. Of course, we got this one up here, and then we've got some other ones that are within our reach. And then we got one up here that's a fairly decent size. But I went with normal resources. I didn't change anything on the map, and I'm really thinking I'm regretting that decision. Normally, when I play, I do 200% on amounts and 200% on richness, and 200% on size. I like having the larger fields, but I don't know. We'll see. I hope there's some like right close, right within our area that we can get to. We'll see. Anyway, so we got started on our military science, and we talked about blue science. We need red circuits. Red circuits need plastic. They also need green circuits. So we're going to start on the plastic. We're going to get the plastic going, and then we're going to start looking at making red and green circuits. Now, up till now, we have been making them, individually where needed. Okay, we're going to start making them in serious amounts. Now, we want to eventually get this sucker going, but we can't get that going until we got some better defenses and stuff. We get the lasers and stuff, because this is going to create a ton of pollution. So what I'm going to do is we're going to go down here and we will make some red and green chips, but we're going to make them in a smaller amount than we would normally do, just to get us started, and we'll do them down here. Now, along with that, like I had said, I want to do all my fluid processing up here. So I'm intending to do my conversions once we get advanced oil processing to change heavy oil to light oil to propane, or to gas, petroleum gas, and we're going to do that in this area. So I kind of want to leave this area clear. We're also going to have to make sulfuric acid, and we're going to have to make lubricant. Now, those will end up being used in wherever we actually build our production. So we're going to make them here and pipe them. But for right now, to pipe it from here all the way over to here is kind of a long trek. So I think what I may do is just pipe over the petroleum gas and then make my conversion to sulfur and sulfuric acid here, because we're going to need sulfur for, where is it? E. We're going to need sulfur for our blue science packs, and we're going to need sulfuric acid. I thought we needed. Does it not need it now? I thought it needed sulfuric acid to make advanced circuits. Maybe not. Maybe that's blue circuits. Well, anyway, we're going to need sulfuric acid over here at some point. But if we... Oh, for batteries. What am I thinking? It's going to be for batteries. So we can either make sulfuric acid and truck it over, but then we've got to truck over sulfur as well. Or we can just, because it's going to be a small amount, we'll just make it here. So I'm gonna just pipe over the petroleum gas. We'll make it here. When we get bigger and we start doing here, then we will increase this. But right now, I am going to do my plastic here, because we're going to be making the plastic up here, and that's just going to be the way it is. So plastic is pretty easy to make. Plastic is just petroleum gas and coal. Okay, now we don't have coal here right now because we don't have coal going to him, but we get this nice patch here, so we're going to tap into that patch, bring it down here. We may just bring it down temporarily, or make this a dedicated patch for this. I don't know, we'll see. But for right now, we're going to tap into this, bring it down, and that's what we're going to use. So it's made in a chem plant, and all it is those two ingredients. So let us do this. Now I want to make, one of the things that happens, I run out of plastic a lot in my other games. And even though I'm not doing a mega base, I still run out of plastic. So we're going to do a decent amount of plastic. So we're going to do 10 on this side, right, for now. And then that's going to come out onto a belt. And then we're going to do 10 on this side. And the nice thing about this is, because this thing is so simple, it's like super expandable. Now I think I missed it by one. Yep, I missed it by one. These guys are a little, they'll fool you a little bit because of the way the artwork is. Because these are both spaced one apart, but these ones look closer. It's just, it's the way the pseudo 3D art is, I guess. Alright, so there's our gazatas, right? Now we need our gazintas. Alright, and we're going to do plastic. Alright, now we got two ways of doing this, because we've got to bring in both things on this side. We can put it in an inserter and a belt and bring our coal down there. And then we have to bring in our petroleum gas. So we would have to do something like that to bring our petroleum gas in. And then have a line out here. Okay? Or we can do this. Have our line here. Have a long-handed inserter. And our belt here. That's the two ways you can get into this without going like the undergrounds and this and that and the other. But now here's the thing. To do this costs me a red inserter. And a red inserter is 7 iron and 1.5 copper total, right? That's to make the yellow inserter and the red inserter and then convert it to a red inserter. So 7 iron, 1.5 copper. To make a pipe to ground is 15 iron. So I can either spend 7 iron and 1.5 copper or 15 iron. Now to me, that's a no-brainer. It's going to be a wider setup because of the fact that we've got to go out with that belt. I wish, let me put that on there first, and then I'll tell you what I wish. Here is our long inserter. Here's our regular inserter. Our long inserter goes from here to here. Short inserter goes here to here. There's no way to go from here to here with a long inserter or from here to here with a long inserter. You have to go you have to go this far out. I wish there was a half a long inserter, if that makes any sense. Now there is a mod that allows you to do that, where you go into here and you can actually set how far out it picks up, whether it picks up here or it picks up here, and how far out it sets, whether it sets here or here. And as you get research for it, I can't think of the name of the mod right now. If I think of it, I'll put it in the description. But you can also tell it to bend 90 degrees, so it could pick up here and place here. The other thing that's cool about this mod, I can pick where on the belt I sit it. Now normally this goes from the inserter, it's always on the far side of the belt. But with this mod, I can pick either close side or far side, so I can put it on either side of the belt if I wanted to. So like if I'm trying to balance a belt where I'm trying to have equal amounts on both sides, and I've got, say, 4 machines, I can set 2 of them to this side, 2 of them to this side, and not have to do the squiggly thing to do it. I really like that mod. It's really handy. We're trying to play this without it, though, so I don't have it on here. But for future reference, there is one available. But anyway, so back to what we're doing, though. So we're going to do the long-handed inserters because they are actually cheaper on materials than the pipes. Not that it honestly matters at a certain point, because you have more material than you know what to do with for common stuff. But like we just got done talking about, right now, for whatever reason, I am kind of getting screwed on iron. So if I can save, a couple of, save double the pieces doing it this way, I'm going to go ahead and save the pieces. It just kind of makes sense to me. So now we've got iron, or not iron, but coal and coal coming in, and we're going to have plastic going out, right? And all we need for that is petroleum gas and electricity. So let's go ahead and set up our power. So, well, that, we could, we could do this and offset it by 1. It's still gonna put it in there. but it's not even. And then we could do it here too, right? And offset it by 1. And here, and offset it by 1. Or we could do that, and that's going to cost us 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3. So as much as it's going to bug me, I think we're going to offset by 1. It's just going to make my brain go nuts, though, on a line, you know, because it's not aligned properly. It's not centered. Oops, wrong ones. But we're going to have to live with it for right now, because we don't have substations, so we got to live with it anyway. But then we got to do the same thing over here. Of course, we're still going to have to, you know what? Let's do that. I got 2 more. And it will reach. So then we could do here, here, and here. And then here and here, here and here, there, there. All right, so that's everything should have power once we turn it on. Everything has power. Everything has power. All right. So then we just got to bring up our gas, right? So petroleum gas. And for right now, we're just going to tap into it. Oops. Ultimately, my plan is to do some kind of a tank farm. Will that reach? That will reach. Like I say, that's not recommended per se, but for management purposes, I kind of like the idea. Right, there we go. So there is petroleum gas going in. This is going to be coal going in. We can split it down here further. Let's bring this down. Let's split it here. There we go. Okay, so now we just got to bring the coal down, and we've got to bring the plastic over. So let's go ahead and go get our coal first. You kidding? There's a tree there? Okay. If you say so. I didn't bring any grenades with me, so we're going to have to clear by hand, unfortunately. I don't know whether you heard it or not, or whether you noticed or not. With all of the sound stuff that they did, if we get up here in the woods, you'll start to hear like wild animals, like e's and stuff like that, which I think is pretty kind of cool that they thought enough to do that sort of stuff. They could have just totally gone without it and just put the trees there, and that would have been that. But we have forest sounds, guys. That's cool as shit, in my opinion. I'm easily impressed, on the other hand, so. Alright, of course we ran right into the middle of it, because that's, you know, that's me. Well, you know what? For right now, we're just going to live with it. This will change how this is laid out and set up when we start tapping this for other things anyway. I think this coal patch is way too big to be just using for plastic. Although, when we finally get to nuclear, we won't need it for power generation. And at that point, we probably are going to look at going over to electric furnaces. Simply because we will have the ability to do the power that way. Might as well use it. I think that'll be enough for now. Did you hear that? That was what I was talking about. That was not me doing something. That was something in the woods. That was woods animals. Can we tap off of that? Yeah, that's all hooked up, or that's all hooked up. One of the two. I guess it really doesn't matter which one we tap off of. That one feels like it's closer. Well, you know what? Let's do short poles. Or small poles. We got a ton of them, and God knows we're cutting down enough trees. Alright, so there we go. So we got coal going. I think that's going to be enough coal. I would hope that's going to be enough coal to last us for a while. You know what? I don't want to have to come back up here later. If I've got the miners, I don't want to have to come back up here and keep installing miners. I keep waiting to hear a howler monkey. I was in Puerto Rico, man. Those things are loud. I think it was howler monkeys that was there. Some kind of monkey, man. They're loud. Was it Puerto Rico or Guam? I've been so many places, it's hard to remember. I want to say it was No. Maybe it was Guam. I don't remember. One of those two islands. because I went to both for hurricane relief on both of them, or hurricane relief on one, typhoon relief on the other. 6 of one, half dozen the other. It's just a matter of which ocean it's in. Hurricanes are in the Pacific. Typhoons are hurricanes are in the Atlantic. Typhoons are in the Pacific. But essentially, they're great big funnels of wind and storm, and just ugliness. I can't remember. Maybe it was. I want to say it was Guam. The more I think about it, I want to say it was Guam that had the monkeys that were really loud. No. I'm gonna now see. Now I'm gonna have to look it up because I was running around the island on both places, so we were near the jungles and the woods and the what have you. I'm gonna have to look up and see which one it was. But one of them has these really loud monkeys. I think they're howler monkeys. Never saw one. We just always heard them. Maybe it was Bigfoot. Maybe it was just Bigfoot. And I'll be honest, there are some things that I definitely do not miss about being in the Army. But there are a lot of things that I did and places I got to see and go and things like that that, man, I really do. I looking back, I really kind of miss. I mean, for me, it was a heck of an opportunity. Growing up, my mom didn't have a lot of money. I didn't have a lot of money. I hated school, so I never really tried. So I didn't have really good grades. So I couldn't get scholarships, even though I could have, had I applied myself, done fairly well in school. I just didn't apply myself. It bored me. The teachers hated me because of the fact that I wouldn't do my homework or anything else, and then I'd come in and ace the test. And because of the way grading was back then, they'd have to give me like a C or a B for the class because I aced the tests. And it just was one of those things. It bored me. So growing up, I didn't have a ton of prospects. My mom didn't have money, and we didn't come from a well-to-do family and weren't well connected, and I was a farm kid, So the Army was that opportunity for me. So I enlisted in my junior year of high school. I enlisted a year before I actually went active duty. I took nearly a year's delayed entry. And it counts towards things like retirement and things like that. It counts towards your time. So, I knew I was going in, so it was a smart decision on my part to sign up. So I signed up in November and graduated in June and went to basic training in July. But I would have never been able to travel to half the places I've traveled to or lived in half the places I've lived in had it not been for my time in the Army. I mean, I lived in Egypt for 18 months. I lived in Korea for a year. And I've been back, and I went back several times more than that. I lived in Germany for 3 years. I couldn't have done any of that as a, middle class or maybe middle class farm kid. So, you know, I'm pretty thankful for my time in. Plus, it gave me a career. I came out of it with a skill and a job. And matter of fact, when I retired, I went right into working for a company that I had been working for on the side on the weekends for a couple of years prior. So I basically dropped right into a job. Why is that? Why is it suddenly no more? Oh, because we don't have enough gas? We may have a problem over here. Let's see what our problem is. Well, that's full. But it may be the way it's routed. There may be a problem tapping into it. That should... Oh, okay. No, it's going. It's going. Something must have temporarily or something. All right, but looks like we've got plenty of coal to keep up. Looks like we're keeping up with coal. Looks like we're keeping up with gas. Oh, we didn't bring the gas all the way down. So there's the gas all the way down. So now that those are all producing, I'm curious if our gas level is dropping. It's not dropping rapidly if it is dropping. So there we go. Now we got coal. Or now we've got plastic. So like I said, we're going to bring... Temporarily, we're going to bring petroleum gas over as well. Theoretically. Hopefully we've got enough pipe. I regret not bringing grenades. Alright, we're just going to bring it to there for right now because we don't know where we're going to do this. But now we've got plastic over here and we've potentially got petroleum gas over here so that we can deal with what we need for circuits. Because that's the next thing we're going to deal with. Is we're going to get circuits started. Well, how much time we got? Where we stand on time? We are 34 minutes. We're good. So we got a half an hour. We will try and address at least green circuits, if not green and red circuits. Alright, so that gets rid of that. And let's get rid of our wood. Eventually we'll get so much wood, what I'll do is take a power plant and we'll just run a temporary power plant off of wood. Speaking of power plants, how are we doing on... Oh yeah, we're fine on on power. It's when we start getting lasers that we really start to have to worry about it. All right, so now, where are we going to do red and green circuits? And the reason I ask that question is because I want to put them on this same bus, a second row of this same bus, and we need enough room to be able to run them. So here's something I think I want to do. I think I screwed up. Let's bring this out this way some. And bring it this way as opposed to down here. Now I'm going to hate myself for doing this because now I'm going to end up with a bunch of plastic in my inventory. But we'll get rid of it. We'll put it in a chest or something temporarily. And then when we got stuff set up, we'll use it. So let's put it up here in our temporary chest. There we go. We're going to, I may do it after or off camera, go down and pick up those other ones down on the border. Not up here where we got dangers, but down in our southern border down there, and pick up the little bit of oil that's down there. Kind of apropos if you think about it, because that's where the oil is for our southern border. We're ready for some more tech. So, personal batteries, belt immune. This is all stuff for in our suit. Concrete, because but not until we get purple science. But it will start to work us towards the rocket side. Holy crap! Look at that, 1,000. Defender capsules. I normally don't use the defender capsules and stuff like that. I don't know. All right, let's, because that'll end that until we get yellow. So we'll do that. That'll end that. That'll end that. So then that takes them completely away. Concrete capacity. Now, I don't know that mining productivity gives you more for the same amount or not, or whether it just makes it faster to get it out of the ground. If it increases how much we get from stuff, maybe that is something we want to pursue a little more in depth. That's uranium mining productivity. I'm gonna research this, but we're probably not going to use it right now. I'm going to research it, but I'm probably not going to use it right now. So that gets us there. That's what takes sulfuric acid. It's the blue circuits. I knew one of the circuits did. For some reason, I couldn't remember which one. Anyway, here we go. Off on another tangent. So, green circuits. We want to make a bunch. Well, not a huge bunch because we don't have a huge bunch of production. But we want to make more than what we're making right now. Let me go get some more assemblers. One stack ought to be plenty. We get a stack of those. A stack of those. We got plenty of those. We got plenty of those. We got plenty of that. Ooh. Nah, see, we can't do the bulk inserters because we need the advanced circuits. So I was going to pick up the other set of inserters, but we can't really do it because we need the advanced circuits, which is what we're getting ready to deal with trying to make. This is going to be in our way. I hate myself for doing that. There we go. But what was even more concerning to me was disconnecting that turned a bunch of stuff off. Why? Is all of that completely isolated? That's isolated. That's not touching that. That's not good. I'm glad we realized that. I don't like. That's why when I was talking a couple of videos back about having interconnection, because just removing that one pole turned off our entire factory. There. Now we're okay. So we can actually, because now it goes across that way. No, it doesn't. It comes somewhere. Oh, it comes from up there. Okay. We'll put this back. That'll give us our interconnection. I don't want to lose. So now we've got a connection that comes this way into here and this way into here. That makes me happier, because then if we lose one, we don't lose everything. All right. Back to being sidetracked and distracted again. All right, so the next bus is going to run down here. We want to stay to the west of it. And we want it to run this way so that whatever we make comes back this way, and whatever we're supplying comes that way. Right? Makes sense? Because then we're pulling it off, making it, and shoving it back onto the bus. And what we might do, depending on where we put the red now technically that's wrong. Technically it should be this to keep our bus consistent. Right? We're making the breaks in the main bus. So I know we need a metric crap ton of green. So we're going to try and do 2 belts of green. Not that we're going to want them here, because again, this is not a lot of production. But when we move and go over to the other one, we want to make this so it's scalable. So that we can, just add it on and then just add on to it as we need to. So let's plan for the 2 rows to start, and then we can go from there. And I have something in mind with regards to how to do this, because it's basically the blueprint that I've used in other games. I'm going to try and do it here, but I'm not going to bring in the blueprints to do it. I'm just going to do it based on my soggy porridge brain. So, 1, 2, 3 wire, right? And then that's going to give us 1, 2 green circuits. And we'll be able to take 2 from this one and 1 from this one, 2 from this one, 1 from this one, right? And that's going to give us all the wire we will need to do this, because we need 3 wire and 1 plate. So that's 3 wire. If we have 1 plate coming in the other side, then that's everything we need for that, right? So like I said, we want to come in here. So if we come in with our copper like this, we'll worry about placement and power poles later. So 1 copper gives us 2 wires. So we really should only need that much going in. That's going to give us this. And then we need iron plate coming in. And then we're going to try and bring 2 lines out. And then we're going to repeat it on the other side. And we're going to do 2 greens. Let's see if we can get this lined up. And 3 wires. So, right? And then, oh, we're actually going to have 2, because we're going to have 1 come out, 1 go in. 1 go out and 1 go in. And then 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 1, and 1. And that's copper. Oh. So then this is going to send it out, but it's not going to send it out here. We want to send it out here, because these are the iron plates coming in. What if we right? So iron's coming in here, iron's coming in here. Circuits are coming out here, but they're going to come out on this side and on this side. We want it on both sides. We want this full. So let's, what if we do this? If we, after this, put a splitter, right? Let's take these. So if this puts it on, let's use pipe. So if this puts it on, it's going to put it on this belt, but it's going to put it on the far side of the belt. Right? And then this one puts it on this belt, it's going to put it on the far side of the belt. Ta-da! So if we do that, and we do that after every grouping, right? And then if we build another one, and we build another one, and build another one, they'll all be on the right sides of the belts. Right? Am I thinking right here? I think I'm thinking right. And then I don't think I'm going to need to, so that's 3 plates. That's, these are more expensive than, but how do we use, we could somehow do that and move it closer, but then what do these cost? 17. So these are actually cheaper than the undergrounds. So if we stick to the surface, we're okay. Right? So now we just need poles. Will that reach everything? That'll reach all of those. So we put one there and one there, right? And then one there and one there. Same thing up here. Everything's powered. Everything's going. We put that to that edge. No, we need to put this one to that edge. And then let's see something. If we blueprint that right there, and we went down one, there it is. That's totally tileable. Now, we are admittedly missing a belt right here, but that's fixable, right? And then that would, but we're going to have to move it so we can get this iron in. But that right there, and I mean, we could do this for days. I mean, we could only do it, we could do it all the way, you know, down the road, but if we're only doing yellow belts, they only would hold so much material. And then would run out. So we would outrun our belts. But you know, then you put in red belts or you put in blue belts, and eventually you'd still run out, but it would be a long more time. Words are hard. A lot longer time frame before we got to that point. But let us, there it is. Now, if we put it up further like this, right, can we get iron out of that? If we can get iron and copper out of that, that would require you know what? Let's go one more down. Yep, one more down. If we go there, normally my bus has multiple lines of each individual material, so I don't have to fight this tight of space, but that'll work there. Alright, so the rule here is any bus that we're jumping over this way is like that, because then that gives us the room to bring that down. Now we're going to end up not doing the reds up here, so we don't need that yet, because the reds are going to have to go somewhere here. We might have to move this, because I'd like to be, you know, the greens and then the reds right after, I think. All right. So that's going to get cramped. We can still do it. That still goes through. That's the iron that we need for that. And then we got to do copper down here. Technically, we're doing copper like this. So that gives us all of it. So now let's just make it work. And see if it works. That lottie-dottie, everybody. Look, green's coming out. And green's on both sides of both belts. Awesome sauce. How are we doing on time? Oh, it has been an hour. All right. Well, we got green circuits working. I'm going to do I guess I'm going to do a second one. Because of the fact that the reds take so much. We'll do a second one. But that's all the more we're going to do with this. Until we get over to our big smelting area. We just need something to carry us until we get there. So that we can make some lasers. And start having enough lasers to... That's Control Z, by the way. You can fix your mistakes. Working. All right, there we go. So now we have our green circuits coming down the bus. And the way I do my buses, I think it's starting to become kind of obvious. I do 4, and then 4, and then 4, and then 4. And the reason I do 4 is because yellow belts will only stretch 4. So when you're starting out, that's all the further you can go. So if I do this, then I can get across here. So like if I'm running another belt, right, I can run across it and be able to keep that continuity. And 4 gives me enough room that if I need to, I can snake something, you know, a little bit and what have you. So that's just my kind of way of doing it. So there it is. We've got green circuits working. We've got plastic working. So I think that's a pretty good day. Let us go ahead and pick some science real quick, so that while I'm cleaning stuff up, we know what we're working on. We're not going to work on blue science stuff yet because we don't have blue science because we don't have red chips. That's what we're going to make next time. So we got the quality module waiting. So we'll do the defenders, the landmines, the rocketry, and the energy shields. And then I think, oh, well, follower count. We could do follower count. Yep, we can do follower count. And that's gonna be just about it. We could do one more follower count if we could fit it, which we can't. And then from there, it's all in blue. So that's it. All right, guys. There we go. We got another one down and taken care of. I will see you in the next one. Bye.